Some athletes are good, others are great. But once in a blue moon, an icon emerges who manages to completely outgrow their sport. You know the feeling, that rare buzz where even people who never watch basketball actually know their name? These superstars are a rare breed, but when they finally arrive, you can feel that something massive is truly happening. Growing up, I was a skater, so naturally I know Tony Hawk. But my mom knows who Tony Hawk is too. That is Impact. In a sport that usually only keeps die-hard fans, Usain Bolt was so dominant he became a household name. It definitely helped that his name literally sounds like he was born to be the fastest human ever. Ask anyone to name one golfer and they will immediately say Tiger Woods. Then they usually draw a blank. Very few athletes ever reach that specific stratosphere of fame. Popularity where they almost single-handedly lift their sport to new heights. Right now, women's basketball has that star. Women's basketball is home to an athlete who might just be the next truly transcendent star, and her name is Caitlin. Clark has only played one season in the WNBA, and she is already the face of the league. She is pulling in more fans and money than ever, but that success has triggered some very harsh criticism. Some hate the lopsided attention given to just one rookie, while others claim that she is simply not dominant. Critics argue she is just a product of a media machine pushing a golden child. Is she actually elite? Is Caitlin Clark as good as advertised, or are her talents overblown for the sake of the league's future? I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for what she has done to lift up our entire game. Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. Football season has arrived, and my partners at DraftKings want to improve your Sundays. Improve your Sundays right now. New customers who bet $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Get $200 in bonus bets for placing any $5 wager. Stay in the action and use those bonuses. Bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. If sports betting is not available in your state, you can still join in. Join the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy for a shot to win cash prizes. Download the Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code JimmyHighRoller to get $200 in bonus bets right now. Just place any $5 wager with promo code JimmyHighRoller only at DraftKings. On April 7th of this year, women in the College Basketball Championship accomplished something completely unprecedented throughout the game. They drew in nearly 19 million viewers, shattering every women's record and exceeding expectations across the board. It beat out any men's tournament game from the last 5 years and even surpassed recent NBA finals. People were turning on their TVs just to see the champions. This massive wave of interest centered on one player. That player was Caitlin Clark. Her incredible range and record-breaking nights proved she was must-watch television. Her unbelievable performances made the WNBA must-watch TV. The true testament of her impact is the doubt. The true proof of her impact is the wave of doubt and jealousy that immediately followed her rise. Critics and players questioned if her talent would actually work in the pros and if her fans would follow. They did. Her WNBA debut was the most watched game in the history of ESPN. Attendance for the Indiana Fever jumped from 4,000 fans per game to an average of over 17,000. That is a 400% increase in fans in just one single year. Sales at the team store jumped 700%, and league viewership has hit levels nobody could have predicted. Game 4 of last year's finals was the most-watched WNBA game in 2 decades, with 728,000 fans. The game lived up to the hype as one of the most anticipated moments in the history of the league. This season, 22 regular season games eclipsed that mark, with 21 drawing over 1 million viewers. Even wilder, 18 of those games featured Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. It is an absolute game-changer. The now dubbed Caitlin Clark effect has pushed women's viewership to nearly catch up with the men's NBA. On ESPN, NBA games averaged 1.56 million viewers, while women's games hit new highs. That was inconceivable just a couple of years ago, But Caitlyn's massive popularity is now a huge point of debate. Many fans are frustrated that in a league bursting with talent, most of the stars are being completely ignored. Everyone is focused on the new poster child of basketball. Do Caitlyn's abilities actually justify all this massive hype? In her rookie season, she broke over a dozen records, including the WNBA single-season assist record. She even set the record for the most assists in one single game. She received more All-Star votes than any player in WNBA history and set a record for double-doubles by a guard in a single season. She broke the rookie scoring record and became the first newcomer in league history to record a triple-double. Last week it was announced that Caitlyn made the first-team All-WNBA, which officially makes her the first rookie on that elite squad since Candace Parker 16 years ago. It turns out those incredible performances from her college days actually translated to the pros. Even when facing the world's toughest defenders, she plays like an offensive cheat code. Throughout her debut season, through both scoring and playmaking, Clark created 45.2% of every single point produced by the Indiana Fever. That is a heavier offensive load than every NBA player last season except for Luka Doncic, and she is just a rookie. To grasp Caitlyn's rare scoring talent, consider the 200 most productive offensive seasons ever played. We are looking at points generated per game. On this list, you'll see the greatest icons the game has known. Legends like Lisa Leslie, Tama Catchings, Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, and Angel Moultrie have tons of seasons scattered throughout this chart. Move toward the top and you see powerhouse years from Asia Wilson and Cynthia Cooper. But holding 4 of the top 10 offensive seasons ever is Diana Taurasi. Her 2006 run was legendary, generating 33.9 points per game. And then there's Caitlyn Clark. She is already the most lethal weapon in the history of the league, and she is just getting started. Women's basketball has never seen anything like this. As wild as her stats look, the way she gets them is even more stunning. Look at these NBA players. These were the deepest shooters in the NBA last year, with Trae Young leading the way. He averaged 27.94 feet, with Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry right behind him. Even though a long ball counts for the same 3 points, these pros are firing from 4 feet behind the line. But even among the world's most elite deep-range snipers, Caitlyn Clark stands alone. During the 2024 season, her average three-point attempt came from 28.1 feet. That isn't just deeper than the WNBA. It is deeper than anyone in the NBA too, a full 6 feet behind the women's arc. Has Caitlyn lived up to the hype? Has she justified the massive media storm that has followed her for 2 years? The answer is a resounding yes. This wasn't just a good start. It was one of the most dominant rookie seasons in the history of basketball. And this helps more than just her, it lifts the entire league. The massive surge in WNBA popularity isn't just about people watching on television to see what she does next. You can see it in the arenas, too. Fans are actually showing up. If you track league attendance since it launched in 1997, you see a story of a league with plenty of highs and lows. Back in 1997, there were only 8 teams, and they had solid attendance numbers because people were excited for a new pro league. They quickly expanded to 16 different teams. A few franchises emerged as clear fan favorites, like the Washington Mystics, the Phoenix Mercury, and the Sparks. But that rapid expansion led to a sharp decline. Many teams folded, including the Soulfire, Miracle, and Sting. The league's steady base took its biggest hit during the pandemic. In 2020, there were no fans in the stands. Due to safety protocols, the arenas were empty. When the gates finally reopened in 2021, attendance hit an all-time low. Numbers have been climbing since then, but this season saw a massive explosion. For the first time ever, attendance is actually higher than the league's debut year. The Indiana Fever are seeing record-breaking crowds every night, nearly selling out every single home game. In a sport where reaching casual fans always felt impossible, Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She didn't just bring new eyes to her own team, she lifted everyone. This kind of impact is totally unheard of. It is certainly a first for the WNBA. But there was a time when the NBA faced the exact same struggle. That was until a legendary duo arrived and saved the league. After the Celtics dominated the 1960s, pro basketball hit a wall. In the 70s, the growth just stopped. The league was battling drug issues, and a rival league called the ABA was gaining serious momentum. The NBA simply didn't have a superstar face to lead them into the next era. Jerry West was retiring, Kareem was great, but he lacked that magnetic personality that draws casual fans in. Bill Walton's career was derailed by injuries. Many felt that Julius Erving's move from the ABA in 1976 fell short of the hype. Too many games were played in half-empty arenas. The league was desperate for a spark to reignite the fire. Back then, arenas were half-empty and teams were hemorrhaging cash. The NBA was written off as a second-tier sport trailing the NFL, MLB, and NHL. It got so bad that networks famously aired NBA Finals games on tape delay in the late 70s. With ratings tanking, the league begged for a generational, transcendent superstar. They got lucky and found two, fresh off the biggest rivalry in college basketball history. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson launched the league to new heights in the 80s, flipping the NBA from a second-rate league into a sports entertainment juggernaut. Fans still say this legendary duo actually saved the NBA. Now, I am not saying Caitlin Clark is simply the second coming of these two basketball legends, but her massive impact on the game has reached a level that mirrors the most influential athletes of all time. Because her massive popularity hasn't just boosted her own profile. No, her fame is doing something much bigger, and it is creating a ripple effect across the entire WNBA. Clark has essentially become the gateway to the league for thousands of new fans. They show up for the phenomenon and stay once they realize just how incredible the whole league really is. Now, players everywhere are signing massive endorsement deals, and teams finally have private planes and elite facilities. WNBA stars are becoming household names, and some are the most recognizable figures in all of sports. We are seeing real heated debates about the games and the athletes that go way beyond the die-hard fans. Conversations are no longer about whether the league should even exist, but instead about broken records, intense rivalries, playoff brackets, championship dreams, and the upcoming draft. It is understandable that Caitlin's sudden explosion in popularity has created some tension in the ranks. Why does she get the spotlight when so many other elite players are out there doing incredible things? The answer depends on who you ask, but you cannot deny the massive impact Clark has made in just one season. For years, WNBA players fought for the world to finally give their skills a chance, and people are finally showing up in record numbers. Now, the reason why they are finally tuning in might not be perfect. Having one player overshadowing almost an entire league is a complicated situation, but it is a huge step in the right direction. Whether the Caitlin Clark effect will leave a lasting impact on the league, keeping these new fans around while drawing in many more in the future, is something only time will tell. But after one season, she is clearly on the path to becoming one of those truly game-changing athletes of her generation. And yes, she has the talent to back it up.